Good morning. We are all dressed and ready to go to the Grand Canyon. I'm so excited. We have 13 points of interest that we're going to. I woke my husband up. He's trying to sleep in. So he's taking a shower. And as soon as he's done, we're going to hop in the car and we are going to go to our first destination, which I won't tell you what it is, but it is an inactive volcano. So we're going to this huge, massive crater, and it is a National Historic Monument. So I'm super excited about that. And then we will head out to other points of interest at the Grand Canyon. So let's go. It is 24 degrees. There's snow on the ground, and we are making our way to a national monument. It's freezing outside, folks. We are stopping to get gas. We only have half a tank, so my husband's out there getting gas with his ski cap on because it is so cold in Flagstaff. Usually Michiganders are not driving or flying or going to places where it's colder than Michigan. We're usually traveling to Arizona or to Florida for warmer weather, but not in this case. This time we're actually traveling in colder weather. The cool thing about it is there are a lot less visitors at the Grand Canyon and the places that we're going to because it's colder out. So the peak time is in the summer. We're hitting a not so peak time, and hopefully there won't be as many crowds. Look at those snow-capped mountains. Wow. I looked this mountain range up while we were driving, and these are the San Francisco Peaks. They're an absolutely gorgeous volcanic mountain range just north of Flagstaff. As we entered the park for the Sunset Crater National Monument that we were making our first stop at, I was very excited to get to the visitor center where I can get my passport stamped. If you don't know this, you can get a national park passport and get it stamped at the various locations that you go to. But unfortunately, when we arrived, and what I'm saying here is that it was closed, but they did set up a stand where I was able to get a piece of paper stamped and include it in my passport. Unfortunately, I left that at home, and as of the recording of this video and putting this video together, I still can't find it. That was one issue I had on this trip. The other issue is I have a new Bluetooth microphone, and I didn't really know how to use it. So while I was walking and talking and showing the area, I wasn't recording it because I accidentally turned it off. So most of the time while we were visiting these locations, you don't hear me talking at all. So I had to cut a lot of stuff out. I'm a newbie at YouTube and with all this equipment, so it will get better. This place has a restroom, which I always want to know where the restrooms are where I'm going because I drink a lot of coffee and I need to use the restroom a lot. My bladder just cannot contain all the amounts of coffee that I drink. Has a beautiful new sidewalk and pathway that you can walk and enter and get closer views of the volcano. This volcano erupted in like 1080. And so it has significant value to the area and the Indians that were around this area because they had to move out of their area because of the lava flow. The flow of this lava extended 800 square miles. So you can imagine what that did to this area. The diameter of the crater at the base is 1 mile. The height of the crater, the summit of the crater, is over 8,000 feet. It is 300 feet deep. That's the crater right there in the background. It looks small on camera. Nothing looks like it should on camera. You must go visit these locations to see these things in person. I'm just bringing this to you so you can see what it's like and see what this park is. You can camp in this area in this park. There is a campground here and an RV camping area available here. Super nice parking lot, super nice bathrooms, super nice peaceful area. All of these trees remind me of Michigan. There are some pretty good kiosks located in this area for you to read about the history of the Sunset Crater and why this is a national monument. You can also go to the National Park Service website or download their app and read more about it as well. I personally like to find out about the history of the area that I'm visiting and how the topography and the people and the culture and the society shaped the area in which I'm visiting. So you can see as we're walking here that it is super accessible. It's easy to walk down this pathway and get closer to the crater. The sidewalks are newly paved. There's a lot of paved trails in this area, so it's easy to get up closer to the crater if you have accessibility needs, if you're in a wheelchair or a walker or some other kind of mobility issue that you need. This is one of the things that I began noticing when my mom's health started to decline and she needed a walker and then eventually a wheelchair. It was really important for me to know if she was able to access these areas, if I was able to push her in a wheelchair so that she could see the same things that I was seeing. And so I always feel that it's important to bring that to you so you know what the accessibility of these locations are. And even though I unfortunately lost my mom in 2022, it is still something that is on the forefront of my mind is what is the accessibility of these areas for everyone to be able to enjoy the same amenities that I'm enjoying. And so I still find myself looking for those opportunities. We are driving at the base of a crater right now on our way to Wupakataki, on the way to a national monument. I don't know how to say it, but we're driving at the base of this crater, Sunset Crater, on the way to Wapaki National Monument. So it's like, this is like super cool. There it is. We're at the base of this crater. If there wasn't snow on it, you would see the black lava. That's pretty cool. You can see it on the other side. On this side, you can see the black lava. And then on that side is all the snow. On the other side of where we were. It's very cool. We are driving in the middle of all these volcanoes. It is breathtaking. Absolutely incredible. Look at this. The drive from the Sunset Crater National Monument to the Wupatki National Monument is a 16-mile beautiful drive through the Coconino National Forest, which you will leave before entering the national park. As you enter the Wupatki National Monument, you will see a large sign where I'm standing at, and then just a little bit forward, there is an informational signage where you can learn more about the Wupatki National Monument and what there is to explore. And so we will be going to the visitor center, and then from there seeing what we can discover. So I'm pretty excited about it. Look how cool. We took the forest road from the Sunset Crater to County Road 395 to get to the National Monument.
Turn left onto Wupatki Road, then the destination is on your right.
Look at that. We're one of very few people here.
Right.
How cool is that? After I got my little piece of paper stamp to add to my passport, we walked around the historical kiosks that were provided for us and read about the history of the area. They have an extensive amount of information and historical facts for you to read about the Indian nation here. Again, very accessible sidewalk. This pathway is available from the accessibility parking spaces as well, so you don't have to go inside the museum to use this pathway. This takes you directly to an overlook to see the National Monument. The sidewalk from the visitor center to the overlook of the Pueblo is paved, but from there you take a more natural pathway. It's not natural, but it's a gravel pathway basically. It's crushed up, super finely crushed up stone pathway through the rest of the area, and there are stairs, so it's not as accessible as the pathway from the visitor center to the overlook. Wow. Yeah. This is man-made. Look at this. Yeah. Wow. One of two connecting 24 miles. I can hear it. I can feel the air too. Wow. Just this little teeny tiny hole. Wow. This is one of the most incredible sites we've ever visited, and we've been to a lot of places. I would equate this to how I felt seeing the Roman Colosseum and other sites in Rome. Just amazing. This is pretty incredible. This is where they lived between 11 and 1200. And basically what happened is, like what happened to all Native Americans, is policies and treaties were created that put them in violation of the way of life that they had, and thus the American government took over the land. So this is a national monument dedicated to the way of living for the people who lived here, and the descendants, the Hopi, the Zuni, and the other Pueblo groups still adhere to that, the values of hard work and spiritual life over material possessions. They still live to that value system today. But this is absolutely amazing. You have to come out and see this. This is our fourth National Monument stop on this trip, and we talked about which one was our favorite. We can't decide between the four that we've seen: the Montezuma Castle, the Whooptaki National Monument, the Crater, and the Tuzigoot. We can't decide which one's the best. But this was pretty incredible. And I think this one for me was the most nostalgic out of all of them. Just reading about what happened to the people who lived here was pretty kind of depressing almost. So I really feel bad for Native Americans and how they were treated. And but this is an amazing, well-kept monument. You definitely have to come out here and see this. We then make our way out of the national park, going east towards the Grand Canyon, because we are going to take the east entrance into the Grand Canyon because it's a lot less traffic. I read that the best, most inexpensive way to buy Indian art is these right here, roadside art stands. Yeah, the least expensive and authentic. Okay, we stopped at Speedy's for a little bite to eat. That place is awesome. We highly recommend it, right?
Yes.
Really good prices, great people. Now we are heading east towards the Grand Canyon. This is the entrance on the east side of the Grand Canyon, which is not as highly used as the South Rim, so it's way better. And before we get to the Grand Canyon, we are going to the Little Colorado River Gorge overlook. We're going to do that first. So we're super excited. Look how awesome this looks. We can't believe it. We're finally here. Scenic view. That's where we're going. Wow, I can see it from here. This is going to be amazing.
The destination
Look at
is
that.
on your right. Little Colorado River Gorge overlook.
I don't even have to get out of the car.
Arrived.
Okay, seen it. Let's go. There it is. Wow. Can you imagine what the Grand Canyon will be like if we're looking at this? It's hard to capture this on camera.
Yeah.
How incredibly amazing this is. Let's walk over to this side.
Careful.
Like you just can't grasp
Careful.
how far down this goes. Like,
Yeah. That's the Grand Canyon.
this is not the Grand Canyon.
Part of it.
So I actually had to look this up and discover whether or not the Little Colorado River Gorge was part of the Grand Canyon or not. And actually, it's not. The Little Colorado River carved out a canyon of its own. There are only about 5 cars in the parking lot, although not a lot of vendors. So if you want Native American made products, there's not a lot of vendors here. But if you don't like that sort of thing, then this is for you. So we're just walking around the rim here of the Colorado River Gorge. It's the Little Colorado River Gorge. Pretty cool. Honestly, we felt like we owned this entire park to ourselves. I mean, we had no obstruction of any view. This is very cool looking at all of the rock formations that are here. We're the only ones right now overlooking the Little River Gorge. And this is phenomenal. Oh my gosh, look at that rock formation. Even back there you can see. Wow. I have always marveled at Mother Nature and what Mother Nature can do. And this is just beautiful. Can you see my husband? He didn't want to walk down here, so I'm overlooking this all by myself. I literally have this whole place to myself. It's so cool. But yeah, I have this whole place to myself. That's what going during the off season gets you, the whole place to yourself. There's a gazebo with kiosks of historical information. And once again, they do an incredible job of telling the story of the Little Colorado River Gorge and Native American Navajo history. We walk through the vendor stands to see if there's anything that we want to buy and then make our way to the Grand Canyon. Oh my gosh, we're in another national forest. Look at that. Grand Canyon National Park.
You should have told me. I could have pulled over.
I didn't know. Here is the entrance station, the east side entrance station to Grand Canyon. Hardly anyone here. This is definitely the entrance to go to, right?
Seems to be.
We are third, fourth in line, something like that. Folks, this is 12:30 in the afternoon, so this is obviously the entrance to go to. We took this trip Veterans Weekend in November during a non-high peak season, and that planning proved correct as there were a lot less crowds. And also entering through the east entrance was our plan, and that proved correct also as hardly anyone was entering through that side. From the parking lot, we take a short walk to our first view of the Grand Canyon. The Grand View and the Watchtower is the easternmost section that you can enter the Grand Canyon, and it gives us our first glimpse. And we were so excited to finally make it here after visiting Arizona for almost 30 years. To recap, on day one, we flew into Sky Harbor International Airport, rented a car from the rental station, drove from Phoenix to Flagstaff, Arizona, stopping at two national monument sites. The first was Montezuma Castle, the second was Tuzigu, both close together, and then we stopped at Bing's Burger Station for a bite to eat before heading up through Sedona to Flagstaff to check into our hotel. Day two, we woke up early, stopped at two national monuments on our way to the Grand Canyon, Sunset Crater Volcano, and the Wapaki National Monument. We then stopped at the Colorado Little River Gorge Overlook and made our way to the Grand Canyon through the east entrance. Come along with us on our next video where we stop at many overlook locations for awesome views of the Grand Canyon. If this video inspired you, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thank you.